Beloved brothers and sisters, anyone who has driven through a busy city, here in Kolkata or anywhere else, knows that the road is a daily examination of the heart. Someone cuts across without looking. Someone blocks the way and leans on the horn. Signals are ignored, lanes disappear, tempers rise. In those moments, something inside us stands up and shouts, "I am right, you are wrong, move." We cling to that sense of being right. We justify our irritation. We want to come out ahead. But today, Jesus gently takes our hand and leads us deeper. You have heard that it was said, "You shall not murder." But I say to you that everyone who is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment. First be reconciled to your brother. Cf. Matthew 5:21-24. Jesus does not say only those who kill are in danger. He says, look at anger in the heart. Look at contempt in the eyes. Look at the hidden insults on your tongue. Anger is not harmless background noise. It can distract the mind, harden the heart, and slowly move us toward judgment. St. Augustine warns us in a sharp sentence, "If you are suffering from a bad man's injustice, forgive him, lest there be two bad men." If I cling to my anger, the wrong done to me begins to live inside me. I slowly become the very thing I hate. A pastor once shared a scene from a supermarket parking lot. A small car made a careless move in front of a large truck. The truck swerved, brakes screeched, horn exploded. When they pulled over, the truck driver climbed out, red with rage, ready to shout. Before he could speak, the young driver from the small car stepped out with hands raised and trembling voice. "Sir, I'm so sorry. I wasn't paying attention. It was my fault. I was scared. Please forgive me." Something changed in a second. The older man's shoulders dropped. His jaw loosened. His voice softened. "I was too aggressive too. I'm sorry I reacted like that." They ended up shaking hands and driving away in peace. One sentence, "I was wrong," broke the power of anger. One act of humility turned a near explosion into reconciliation. This is what Jesus is talking about when he says, "Settle matters quickly with your adversary while you are on the way." Cf. Matthew 5:25. Why do we flare up so fast? Very often because we are desperate to be right. I was correct, you were foolish, end of story. But at what cost? At the cost of a friendship, at the cost of peace at home, at the cost of a child's trust, at the cost of our own joy. We forget that we too make mistakes. We forget the times someone else quietly forgave us. Jesus shows us that sin begins long before the outward act, in the heart, in the hidden words we speak in our thoughts, in the way we reduce a person to one mistake, one label, one failure. He does not only say, "Do not harm." He says, "Learn humility, especially when others fail." Sometimes a little humor can even save us. We see a driver make the same mistake we ourselves made last week. We almost shout, then we remember. We smile, even a little, and something melts. Laughter in that moment becomes a mirror. It reminds us everyone, even in their errors, is human. No one is always right. No one drives perfectly. No one speaks perfectly. Our grip on being first, being justified, being flawless, begins to loosen. In that loosening, we stop looking down on others from above, and we stand beside them as fellow sinners, fellow learners, fellow travelers. Some spiritual writers say that a heart trained in grace can let go of anger like writing on water. You trace the line. For a second it is there, and then it dissolves, leaving no scar behind. This is not weakness, it is interior freedom. Saint Francis de Sales, who knew his own tendency to anger, gave this counsel. At the first sign of anger, collect yourself gently and seriously, not hostilely or with impetuosity. On the road, that might mean before we answer with the horn, before we throw a word like a stone, we answer with one deep breath and one short prayer. Jesus, meek and humble of heart, make my heart like yours. That small pause creates a space where grace can enter. This is what Jesus invites us into today, not a life without conflict, but a life in which conflict is met with humility instead of pride, with mercy instead of revenge. Even in traffic, even in the supermarket, even in the parish parking lot, we can choose peace. We can settle matters quickly, not because we are weak, but because we have discovered that love is stronger than anger. When we entrust our wound to God, He does something we cannot. He softens the heart. We begin to see people not as obstacles to our progress, but as fellow travelers who are also tired, also distracted, also in need of grace. And then Augustine's warning turns upside down. If I forgive the unjust person, there will not be two bad men, but two sinners being slowly made new. Brothers and sisters, the road will still be noisy, people will still make mistakes, we ourselves will still fail. But if in such moments we can remember even one line of the gospel, first be reconciled to your brother, Matthew 5:24. If we can say even once, I was wrong, I am sorry. If we can pray, Jesus, meek and humble of heart, make my heart like yours. Then, little by little, anger will lose its throne, and Christ will take that place. In that humble exchange, love will triumph over anger, and we will discover a freedom deeper than the open road, the freedom of hearts at peace with God and at peace with one another. Amen.